Hi guys, I'm Paul from Urban Constrictors and welcome to the 12th instalment of the 2 Minute User series. Now this subject was brought to us by Martin Foster, and his question is basically, when you introduce a male into a female's enclosure, why in some cases is there some unexpected behaviour and a little bit of thrashing around? So because there's two sides to this, I thought it was a very good subject to touch base on, especially with us entering the breeding season, and I do appreciate so many of you are new to breeding. So let's not put 2 minutes on the clock, so we definitely don't want to rush this one, and let's go! So just quickly, the way I introduce my males into my females is I obviously open the enclosure, either place the male in, or if he's quite active, let him slither out of my hands and let him slither into the enclosure, because it's a good way to just look at his body weight and make sure he's in great condition. Because if he isn't, leave him in for that introduction, and then when he comes out, make sure you get another meal in him before he sees that female again, or any other female for that matter. Now it's a very simple process of putting the male in with a female, but in some cases the male can be either seasoned or just raring to go, and he can upset the female and you can get some degree of quite erratic behaviour. Now for the most part this is part of it and it's acceptable and it's okay, but if there is some unexpected behaviour, I would certainly stay in the room for at least 10 or 15 minutes just to monitor it and make sure it calms down swiftly. If it doesn't calm down, I have in the past removed the male, because there's always tomorrow. If the male's just raring to go and he upsets the female, I don't want that to happen, because I don't want that excess pressure on her, stressing her out. Breeding season is quite a stressful period for the snakes, particularly when they're in the final stages of egg development and they're going on to lay. That's the incredible stressful time for them. But the breeding season itself, so earlier on in the breeding season, is still quite stressful. So you always want to make sure your females are as stress-free as possible. Obviously provide them with everything they need, ambient temperature being 82, hotspots being between 90 and 95, etc. So whereas a lot of people would say that erratic behaviour is totally normal and acceptable, I always think it's better to not risk it and reintroduce them at a later date than let it go on for any excessive time scale. I just don't really think it's worth it. And 99 out of 100 times, you won't even witness it, because I certainly don't. And I typically breed my snakes, I typically pair my snakes up. Before I leave this room, at least 30 minutes before, I'll have some jobs to still do. I'll pair my snakes up, I'll jot all the information down. And then for that 30 minutes while I'm kind of doing my jobs, I've got an ear on the snakes and an ear on the music. But the reason I wanted to touch base on this subject is because in my first season or my second season, something quite unexpected happened to me. Now, I introduced a small male around 600-700 gram mark, I can't quite remember, into a 1500 gram or thereabouts female's enclosure, and they both went mental. Now, because I'd read about this erratic behaviour, I thought it was totally normal and I just left them to it. But not too long after, maybe 30, maybe not quite 30 minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes later, I went back into the room and bang, you could hear them both thrashing around this enclosure. So I removed the smaller male, thinking it was just too much, and I was planning to reintroduce him again at a later date. But in the meantime, because Facebook wasn't born back then, I went on to RFUK and I asked why this behaviour was happening. And one person, and I can't remember who it was, I wish I could, because a lot of the RFUK guys are now on Facebook. I'm still very good friends with many of them. But one of the guys said, "I bet your female's a male." He just put it quite bluntly and quite straight to the point. And at this time, my popping skills wasn't very good. At this time, I could pop young snakes, but not the older ones, because the older a snake gets, the more developed their muscles become, and the more difficult they become to pop. So I began on practicing popping snakes, young snakes, a couple of times a day, then bigger snakes, and I just kept going until I worked my way up to this 1500 gram female, and I did push quite hard and bang, 2 hemipenes popped out. So unfortunately, and it does happen, it certainly happened to me, I've let it happen to someone else by accident. I sold a good friend of mine some snakes from my shop. I didn't check the sex because the person that sold them to me to go into my shop is he owns a big shop in the UK, and he's a snake dealer. He knows what he's doing, but unfortunately we sold them as females, and they did in fact turn out to be males. But I quickly corrected it, and I'm still very good friends with them people, and I'm not going to name them, but they will be watching this video. So we corrected it and we moved forward. But it happens only too often in this industry where people think they've got popping down to a T and they haven't. And that's why I think it's really worth watching a lot of popping videos. I've done one that's been received really well on 2 Minute Tuesday. It's a couple of videos back, but I'm going to link 2 videos in the description box below. One is that popping, because if you read the comment section, you'll read that loads of people can now pop after watching this video. But also how to breed ball pythons correctly. I don't necessarily go into detail on popping and stuff, but I think there's a lot of aspects to breeding snakes that people, and timescales that people really don't look into, or they just take for granted. People think breeding these snakes, you just put a male in with a female, that's it, you just do that once a month, every month, and you get eggs, then you get babies, and then you get about feeding them, and then you get to sell the ones you don't keep and you get a whole back. It's a little bit more technical than that, and a lot of things can happen from December to late summer in the breeding season. So I think if you haven't watched How to Breed Ball Pythons Correctly, it's currently got about 20,000 views and 500 or 600 likes, so it's been received really well. I'd certainly recommend watching that. I am a little bit stiff, and to the point, it was a very demanding video. It was a tough one to do, and I'm going to do part 2, but I'm just not looking forward to it. So watch that and the popping video, because like I said, I introduced a young male into a bigger, older male's enclosure, and the thrashing around was crazy. I knew something was wrong, and that's why I think at that point in time it programmed me to take the smaller male out away from the female, to not put excessive pressure or stress in each one of them snakes. And that's the way I do it now. So if I put a male in and that kind of inappropriate behaviour starts, I just remove the male and reintroduce him at a later date. 99 out of 100 times you're not going to witness this erratic behaviour, but when it does happen, because this season is so long, there's always tomorrow, so just remove that male. But if you are witnessing it quite regularly, I strongly recommend you polish up on your popping skills. And I choose popping over probing simply because it's a visual. And if you pop a snake and see 2 hemipenes, you know it's a male. There's no question about it. But so that's why I favour popping. But I strongly recommend, if you can do it and you're one of these people that really struggle with it, because you know each one of us struggles with different things, and some people just aren't meant to pop snakes. It is what it is. Get someone in your local area to come and give you a helping hand that you know can pop snakes, and just double check that female, because if that erratic behaviour is happening and it's a male, I've read, now I haven't witnessed this myself, but I've read of 2 males locking and the larger male inserting his hemipene into the smaller male as a dominance kind of thing. So you may witness a lock and think, well, it's definitely a male and a female because they're locking. It just isn't the case, unfortunately. 2 males will lock, and it's like I say, it's that dominance thing. So if Martin, if your snakes are acting really erratic each time you put that smaller male in with that larger female, I would really suggest popping them if you can, learning how to pop if you don't know how to, or finding someone or a pet shop that you can go visit. And don't always trust pet shops, because unfortunately mistakes can happen, and in a lot of cases staff think they can sex snakes when they can't. Obviously, me being a snake keeper and breeder, when people bring snakes in for me to sex, I've got kind of a good background in it. But not all reptile shop owners or reptile enthusiasts that work in shops can do it. Sometimes they just think they can. But I would strongly recommend you get a second opinion. Now, I do appreciate this video has gone on a little while, so I'm going to wrap it up now. But just don't always take for granted that your female that was sold as a female is a female, and your males are male, because you could be putting a small female in with a big male, you could be putting a small male in with a big male, you could be putting a small female in with a big female, or you know, it can be anywhere around basically. Or you could be putting a small male in with a big female, and they're just being nutcases. And in that case, just remove the male and just let them chill out. So guys, that one wraps this one up. Now we are fast approaching Christmas, so because Tuesday next week falls on Christmas Eve, I'll film it a little bit early and do some sort of Christmas special, kind of 2 Minute Tuesday. So give me some fantastic ideas, please. And I just want to take this opportunity to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a fantastic 2020 season. Let's push the reptile industry in a really positive way. Let's push it forward and positively. I'm really trying to spread this positive love, because this hobby is to be enjoyed, and the more positive and happy we can be about it, the better example we can lead. So if you like this video guys, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't liked it, give it 2 thumbs down. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you on Thursday or Friday to show you some cool snakes. Now quickly, you will notice that I uploaded 1 or 2 videos earlier. I'm going to start uploading like 30-second videos, just really plain, really simple, just highlighting some beautiful snakes. I'm really trying to evolve this channel, and I am incredibly grateful for all you guys that comment. Now I don't always get a chance to comment back, but I read them. I quickly give them a little like and that little love heart symbol to let you know that I've seen them. But I'm going to try and incorporate more time in my schedules to answer more questions. But please guys, don't use YouTube as a way to ask me questions on subjects that are nothing to do with 2 Minute Tuesday or me showing my snakes off. I get a lot of people asking, oh, just a quick one. You have to appreciate that just a quick one to you might not be to me, and I'm a very busy person. But I'm trying to push my YouTube channel forwards. So I'll see you on Thursday and Friday. And like I say, I'm going to post these random little videos up. I hope you enjoy them. And just a quick one, I've got an absolutely fantastic snake to show you soon. If you've got to the end of this video, a brand new gene to urban constrictors, and one I'm very excited to work with. I did a post on Facebook asking people to guess, and after 150 comments, some imbecile reported the post as a snake sales post, and so Facebook took it down, ironic. But it was just a guessing game. So I'll see you on Thursday, Friday to show you these cool snakes. Cheers guys.